Welcome back to Lifestyle Leap. If you took a minute to watch the 1 minute strong, which might have been a little longer than a minute, and that drove you here because you want to talk about or listen to some of those things that um, we're going to say don't matter as much as we think they do in our everyday lives, right? So, in the intro, I said the prices of gasoline, if I didn't know I'm saying it, mortgages going up to 7-8% in a hot house market and a hot housing market, rent out of control all over the states. And I live in San Diego, where it is I'm speechless at what rent costs. But as a homeowner, I'm also thinking, well, I could rent my place out and get a good penny for it. And the ability for me to do that comes with choices that I made 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago to get into the housing market and to work my mortgage down to a good interest rate. Didn't start off great and then ended up better. Rode the wave and the tides of trying to get into the best picture for me, for us. And so the leaps that we took then 5 years ago are the landings that we're making now. So the lifestyle leap, the things that we change, are often born out of the circumstances of today and wanting a better tomorrow, right? So back to those couple of things that we started off with. Let's just go to the news. It is like I think, when we talk about in our house, we don't have to watch comedy shows. We watch drama movies or something like that, or fantasy movies, which is actually close to the news these days. And so when we talk about the political climate, I'm not going to talk politics here, the all of the things that are going on in our country. And if you're in the United States or following the United States, and it's just a little out of control. And that's what this talk is about today. Out of control. It's out of my control. So if it's out of my control, here's the thought. Why am I worried about it? What can I do about it? I can cast a vote in one of these November elections and say I did my civic duty in making the change that we want for our government, for our country, for our city, state, for the street that we live on. You could vote in my HOA, get a new HOA president in there and change the world. And what happens at the presidential level of the United States, the gubernatorial level of each state that you're in, the county, the mayor, the dog catcher, changing the name plate and the party affiliation. Let's just go back 30, 40 years, however old you are, go back to your first conscious voting time. What is it you wanted to change? And did it change? Did it change really because of the people, the mayor, the president that came in, made the change? Was it attributed to the change that was already going on because the last two administrations really kicked it off? And each one of them will tell you, and again, it doesn't matter, presidential, gubernatorial, mayor, dog catcher. They'll all tell you, sheriff, they were doing, they picked up the pieces of the last administration and now they're trying to work it out. And if it was some good things that are coming their way because the effect of the previous administration's plan now started to work, because plans aren't an overnight thing. Remember, I said 5 years ago in the first chat, 5 years ago, I got into an interest. Well, I made a decision to buy. We made a decision to buy instead of renting. And the reason was because we looked at the rental market. We said, wow, it costs, $3,000 to rent out here. This is crazy. But then I can get into a mortgage for $3,000 and it'll be mine. So yes, we have interest. Yes, we have other associated costs. But as the years go by, my equity goes up, right? So the value of the place goes up, my equity goes up. And I was able to get the interest rate down because I was able to parlay that into, took 5 points off my interest, 4 points, whatever it was. So, but that was not because of the administration. That was not because of anything. The same people were in power that were in power when I started it. The same people were in power when I finished it. So I started with an interest rate at this point, and I got to an interest rate at this point. Same mayor, same governor, same president. We look at it today like it's the person or the people who are in power are messing up our lives. Again, we can't do anything about that at our level. The only administration that really needs to concern is the one that we can influence. That's my house address, my roof, walls, floors, and doors, right? And the people who live in it. That's my democracy. I'm part of the parliament of decision makers in my household. And that is something that we can make decisions on that change the trajectory of our future, right? We all have circumstances and we all have to live with consequences. But the consequence and the circumstance provide, when we are focused, get this now, the opportunity to make a change that will positively impact the future. So if I'm worried about the price of gas, but if that's what I'm worried about today, then that's what I'm worried about today. But if I worried about the circumstances of having higher costs, that also gave me the opportunity to create something that would alleviate it when the higher costs come. So, in my kingdom, we say, let the higher prices come. We'll weather it. What are you doing about those things that bother you every day, that we're seeing come from the outside? That news stream, that social app, that neighbor talk, that over the fence stuff, that at the bar, it's everywhere. People are talking about, well, I don't watch TV. I don't have to watch TV. I got my neighbors, my friends, the telephone, social media. Oh, I don't do social media. Well, you got the telephone, you got the neighbors, you got your friends. Somebody's telling you what's going on. And how is that impacting your physical and your mental health? Well-being. Let's talk about wellness, because these are all part of the lifestyle leap. So, and leaping can be, jumping ahead, and it could be jumping back. But a leap, let's use that as forward motion only. I'm only concerned with, and if you only concern yourself with the things that bring you to a destination that you chose to get to. Thoughts are things, right? So what you're thinking, what we think, we manifest. You don't have to believe it, but there's all kinds of there's people who have provided testimony to it, witness accounts, tried it and showed it and demonstrated that we vibrate and we attract, or we push people away with our negative energy. But and so which energy do you want to have? In order to make a leap, a positive leap, we have to be at least tanked up with enough positive energy and belief and will and want to, and a target to jump to. the things that, I mentioned earlier, we have, our, because that's our kingdom, is our home, is our family, are all the things in it, and we make all those decisions and we control them. And if the price of some item, refrigerator, stove, television, whatever, telephone, goes up beyond our reach, then we say, okay, we don't do it now, we'll wait. If the thing breaks, maybe we'll figure out another thing, or we shift, we pivot, but we leap. We leap in our belief. We leap towards the goals that we set. And if we're not setting goals, we're leaping into darkness, and we're going to land in darkness. I would love to hear your comments about what you think about some of that. Back to the vibration, that energy that we give off, um, is goes into, as Napoleon Hill would call it, the ether. It goes into the atmosphere, and it's like an FM wave. Let's say it travels and is picked up by anybody who's tuning in, and it can bounce into nothingness, but it's what you're sending. And if we're sending negative energy, who are we drawing in? Other negative people, because misery loves company, right? So if who wants to attract bad people to their lives? Goes with relationships, goes with jobs, goes with people we hire, goes with the people who hire us, goes with the people we befriend, the people we travel with, the groups that we form. It's all related to our energy. So, breathing exercises, for example, and I talked about this on a previous video. 7 seconds in, 7 seconds hold, 7-second hold, 7-second release when you take it in, and do this every day, a couple times a day, and you will feel the shift in your vibration. You might feel, try it now. The first couple times I didn't really feel much because I wasn't tuning. And then I really took the exercise for what it was worth, because it felt good, but it didn't feel like it was doing anything. But then I began to really take in positive energy to douse the flame of the negative health points. My own, the impact, the information, the news, and those things that impact us. It's tough. There's a lot of it, and it's a lot thought-provoking, and it's worth talking about, but it's not necessarily worth your state of mind. It's not worth my healthy state of mind. So I would take in that positive energy and I would hold it. And it's like you mentally swirl it around and sweep out all the negative. And what's left is clean. Best thing to do then is do it again. Flush the tank of your soul. A friend I was talking to today, and we'll come back and we'll do another, we'll do some segments together. She said, and this is to you, Stephanie, or if you see your body as this temple, right? But she said, look at it as a car, and you're the driver. The car doesn't tell you what to do. The car doesn't manage you. Your soul, your being, is moving the body and controlling the mind. So you get to dictate what it thinks and what it does. You get to choose. So I'm saying, take a leap out of whatever it is that you think is holding you back and into whatever it is that you want to get to. I mean, plan the whole thing out. Where do you want to be in a year, 12 months, 6 months, 30 days? Where do you want to be? How are you going to get there? This is not new talk. I know some of you say, yeah, I hear this every day. Okay. But what are you doing? What are we doing about it? I've heard it a lot too and didn't do anything about it until I decided that my leaps would be connected to a landing and not this, if you leap, and how long can you jump? 2 seconds, 3 seconds, you can stay airborne and then you land. So a leap is sort of like that. You jump and then you land, but it's where you land and where it'll take you. So leap, what's your leap? Choose your leap. And I say today, start by cleaning the negative junk out of the trunk of your mind, your body. And then you take that positive energy that you just filled up, and then you make some decisions. Don't make them when you're negative. Don't make them when you're watching the news. Don't make it when you're feeling angry about what's happening out there, because that anger is not doing you any good. And oh, by the way, as a final thought, anger requires a ton of energy, way more than happy. So you be the energy source, feed yourself the positive energy. And that is the start. When you leap, you're leaping with good fuel in the tank to a landing point of your choosing. You may still have to do a ton of work to get from the landing point to the goal, but at least you've leapt out of the dark thing or the negative thing or the hold you back thing or the thing you just don't want to be doing anymore. Rebecca, my wife, would say you can't find or get on the right bus until you get off the wrong one. I'll say that 100 times out here because it's very true. So that's it for today. We are pushing forward to starting a more regular series. So I hope that if you watch this, you'll share it, and you'll talk about it and invite people to take a look as I roll into some, I think, more lifestyle challenging subjects, and then with guests. So I'm excited that I'll be moving along on this platform and then branching out with some friends into some other platforms that talk about some different subjects. But this one is about the lifestyle leap. The guests that I bring into in the future to talk with me about lifestyle. And if you want to be one of those people, just reach out and connect to me, and we can talk about, you coming in and telling a little bit of your story of your leap or the thing that's holding you back from doing your leap. But either way, I hope to see you here again. Again, smash the like button, subscribe, and share wherever you feel like it's worth sharing to, because the positive message is one that everyone benefits from. So I really look forward to seeing you next time. Lifestyle Leap.